couldn't even get the benefits of the exercise because I was trying to work through arthritis in my hands and my forearms, and it just hurt to even hold the weights. Like it was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I can't do that. Like this is, but one workout at a time, it got better, it got better, it got better. And I can remember the first time I felt sore in my pecs after I did a chest workout. For the first time, I was like, praise God, because I couldn't get there. So again, if it took all of that to get me here, then I'm fine with it. But I didn't see that at the time. I didn't see that going from here to there, I had to overcome all this stuff.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Hey, so today I've got another Warrior Babe here with us, Warrior Babe Melissa, who before finding us spent years doing everything quote unquote right. She was walking daily, she was eating clean, she was staying disciplined, yet nothing was changing. How many of you guys have been there, right? She avoided, and many women have done this, she avoided mirrors, she relied on shapewear, and she didn't feel at home in her body. What she didn't realize, though, was that the real transformation had to start from within. And today, she's stronger, she's more aware, and she's finally in control of her mindset and her health. And today, she's here to share that journey with us on how she quieted the noise, how she built strength, how she finally showed up for herself. Melissa, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let the listeners know where you are located in the U.S., where you're from, what do you do for work, and how old are you?
Okay, I live in San Pedro, California. It's near Long Beach, California in LA County. I'm 58 years old, 58 years young, and I'm a corrosion specialist, which technically I retired from Chevron about 10 years ago as an API 510 inspector. So I literally am the person who climbs into the equipment to find the corrosion and the damage and to make sure that they're fit for continued service. And so now I consult and I go to refineries and I help other people be better at managing their equipment.
Dude, that's so cool.
It's a fantastic job. I'm
Yeah.
ridiculously blessed.
Wow, that's so
Love it.
cool. I have never heard of that before. So
Yes.
it's really cool. Cool. All right, let's get into talking about your fitness, your health and fitness journey. Like, where were you before you found Warrior Bay? What was your situation like?
So I have three kids. I was empty nesting. Two are in college, and one is adulting. He just wants to work. And I was tired of feeling tired. I was tired of being in a mom body. I was tired of talking about it and having people go, "Oh, you're crazy. You look so good," and it's bullshit. No, I didn't look good. I didn't look good. I didn't feel good, and stop lying to me. So I Googled, because back in the day in my 20s and 30s, I was an avid weightlifter. And I like even considered doing a bodybuilding competition, but I don't know why I didn't. And I remembered how I felt and how my body felt when I used to do that, because I remember when I stopped doing it, when I got my first job out of college, my body composition changed, not like overnight. And I was still working out, but I wasn't weight training.
Sure.
But I went from a size 3 to a size 8, and I just stayed there. And going through this process, I was like, I need to get back to weight training. So I Googled weight workout for women over 50, and you came up in the feed, and I watched your video. And the minute I heard you drop the F-bomb, I'm like, oh, I'm so about to go to her website.
Oh,
She,
that's what it was. Let's
well,
go.
because you were so passionate. You weren't bullshitting me. Like I could tell you were like, look, do it or don't do it. It works. Whatever. Go back
Yeah.
to doing shapewear or Ozempic or whatever you feel like, you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt. And I don't like to be like, if I look like shit or if I'm being bad or if I'm not doing things right and I tell this to Kayla, just tell me. I'm not, my feelings won't be hurt.
Amen.
I need to hear it.
Amen. My
So
type of woman. Love that.
that's what I liked about you. I was like, okay, if I walked up to her and said I feel like shit, she would be like, yeah, you look like you feel like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would tell you on the spot. I love that. What, so bring us back though before finding us on the internet. What you said you were walking daily and you're doing like Pure Bar or something like that? Yeah, what
I've been doing Pure Bar for 3 years, and I'm talking walk to Pure Bar, do Pure Bar, walk home, and that was probably there and back 5 miles. Then hour class, Um, and I felt change, but for 3 years,
Yeah, what was the most frustrating part about that? Like not seeing the results after
not
doing
seeing
it for sure.
results and looking at pictures and people going, "Oh, so is Pure Barre working?" I've been fucking doing it for 3 years. You tell me if it's working. So
Yeah.
clearly it wasn't working because they didn't go, "Oh wow, you look great," you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, I need to find something else."
How were you feeling about your body at that time?
Oh, mad. I can tell you the moment I was like, I'm done with Pure Barre because I got so mad in class because I was one of the strongest people in class. Like the teacher would go, if you don't know how to do the move, watch Melissa. And like I could do everything. I just wasn't feeling good. I didn't feel good about how I looked.
Hmm.
They always take promotional pictures when you do 250 classes, 500 classes. And I hated taking the pictures. I'm like, I don't want to take the picture. No, don't publish the picture.
Yeah.
Um, so no, I was mad and I did not feel good about myself.
Yeah,
You know,
you mentioned too like avoiding mirrors and stuff like that, and
yeah.
you mentioned like how did that impact like your confidence on a daily basis? And what were like the thoughts that were running through your mind when you'd see yourself in photos or mirrors?
I would delete them. Like my youngest son's graduation, that was like I looked at myself and I was like, ugh, like because my arms were soft, my midsection. That's where I feel
Mhm.
because my torso is short and my legs are long.
Yeah,
So when I gain weight in my midsection, you can see it.
yeah,
I don't gain and in my face. So it's like those two sections. Um, and I was just like, I can't keep looking like this. I don't like it because I've
yeah.
never been a person that had to worry about my weight. Never.
Yeah, I can hear that that would be frustrating, especially doing 3 years of something and not getting the results you thought you were going to get and wanted, and that can make you feel super mad. It's like your time is valuable and you want to feel good in your skin. You mentioned too, like, and you're not alone, Melissa, either. Like, we are kind of talking beforehand about that. Like, there's so many women out there that experience the same thoughts and these same patterns. And, there's gonna be a woman listening to this being like, dang, I'm in Melissa's shoes. I feel the same way right now. How about the noise? You mentioned like there was a lot of noise in your mind was like holding you back. Can you share a little bit about that and how you started to like quiet it down?
Oh yeah. So the the thing that kept going through my head because I know how hard weight training is, and I know that it's something that you have to dedicate a minimum of like 3 days of weight training, of
Yeah.
concentrated muscle part weight training. And in my head, I would talk myself. I'd say, you know what? Are you going to be able to sustain this? Are you going to stick with it? Or are you going to do it and stop doing it because it got hard or your schedule got messed up and then not go back to it? Um, and it was just the noise in my head was you have to do something to, your life has to something has to change. This is not working. Whatever's happening right now is not working. It doesn't matter how little you eat or how healthy you eat. There's something that's not clicking here. Like you got to find the leak. Where's the leak that's not, helping you get to where you need to be?
Yeah.
um yeah, that's what it was. I knew it was something. I just needed to put my finger on. I couldn't figure it out on my own. That's kind of where I was at.
Not alone there either. You mentioned really quick eating healthy and eating less. Is that what it looked like? Like, well, talk to us about what your nutrition looked like while you're doing the Pure Bar and walking and all that.
Oh, I was eating very well. A lot of salads, which I'm finding now aren't the healthiest, thing to eat. But I wasn't eating like bread and fries and things like that. I did drink wine, which is now I'm understanding is not the greatest thing in the world, so I don't do that now. Um, but no, my eating was healthy, and I'm guessing I was taking in maybe 1,200 to 1,500 calories, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And even my daughter would go, "Mom, are you eating today?" And I'd go, "Nope, I'm all full." And I would and it was a joke, but kind of not a joke. Because
Yeah.
I was, because she's like, I'm kind of afraid you're not taking in enough calories because we would eat, but wouldn't eat like they eat. I'd cook
What?
meals, but wouldn't eat as much.
Gotcha. What was like do you know what your protein intake was like beforehand?
No, not anything close to what, even when I first started with Kayla, because she's got me up to 1900, which almost sent me to a therapist. But
I can't wait to get to that part.
But when I first started with Kayla and she gave me my macros, I
Wait,
was
hold on. Don't go into it yet because I want to get there. Don't get into it yet. I want to hear that when we get to the that part. Curious though with the salads, you just mentioned they're not, you're finding out they're not that healthy. What do you mean by that?
just like the dressing, and if you're not putting enough
Oh,
protein, and if you're just having the lettuce, and I mean, croutons. I mean, what nutritional value does croutons have? Like none,
yeah.
none.
Okay, that makes sense. So it was more so like kind of eating like, and to clarify too, help me with my with the calorie intake that you were consuming. How tall are you?
I'm like 5'6".
Okay. And that how many years ago was this?
This was like September of last year.
September of last year.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's when
Okay.
I started. That's when I had my first meeting with Shannon Parker.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, Parker. We call her Sparkler.
I love, no, she. I'll tell you about her. She's amazing. I loved her.
Aw, love that. Okay, so yeah, that intake is pretty was pretty low,
Hmm.
knowing like where you were at and what you were doing. Okay, so let's talk about you heard me say the F-bomb. Where'd you hear me say that?
In your story, like you dropped, you just were like, and I was just so fucking tired, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. Um, yeah,
Do you
you.
remember exactly what I was talking about that resonated with you the most?
I think you just said you were just fucking tired of your yo-yo going up and down, 30 pounds to lose weight, 30 pounds on, did your competition, did this, you liked your candy, you were just fucking done with it. It was like, okay.
And then you went to the website and started looking more.
Yeah, and then I started listening to your podcast, like, and then that's when I clicked on the VIP, signed up for a consult, and yeah, Shannon called me, and I literally wanted to cry because I didn't feel like until I talked to her that anybody heard me, could hear what I was saying,
Yeah.
because it wasn't a vanity thing. It was a, I don't feel good. It's like talking to your doctor and saying, no, that's not where it hurts. Like, this is not working. Like, I need, I just, and I'm a resilient, like, I'm a data driven person. I know how to go find it. I can solve problems. These are, but I couldn't solve, like, I just couldn't solve this one.
So what was it specifically that you and Shannon were talking to about on the phone that you were like, okay, I'm in, like I need to take the leap?
Um, so when I told her I wasn't comfortable in my skin, I said, I don't know if you know what this feels like. Like, I'm tired of wearing shapewear because I don't like the way my midsection looks. And I want to feel comfortable in my skin because intellectually and from a career standpoint, I am a very confident person. I can walk into a room and I can tell the general manager bad news. And if he's, listen, that just can't be right. Well, I'm sorry, it is right. That's exactly, it's right. I don't have any problems doing that, but I couldn't get control over my health. And when Shannon said, and I didn't realize that you guys didn't take every person, like she said, you are a good candidate for this program, because I was like, oh crap, I might not even be a good candidate for this program.
Yeah.
She told me how much it was, and I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I can't keep feeling like this.
So you
So,
on the spot, you were like, all right, I'm in. Let's
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Wow. So talk to us about your first thoughts when you first started and joined the program and you met Kayla and then you moved on to have your programming and bring us down the journey of you getting to the 1900 calories.
Okay, so I met Kayla, and obviously I'm embarrassed to share things with her because I don't know her, right?
Yeah.
So you don't just go, you go,
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
I'm going to give you
Totally.
this, I'm going to feed you this, and I'm going to feed you this. Um, but no, the first thing she did was we talked about my goals, we talked about where I am. I had already just had a blood test, so I was able to send that front load her on that. So
Hmm.
she kind of had my stats for my where I was in my blood work, which was helpful because then she could go, okay. Um, but I'm not gonna lie, I was freaked out about the food. The food freaked
Yeah.
me out. It
Unpack
felt
that
like
with me.
so much food. Like, it was so much food. I
Yeah.
was like, how am I going to eat all this food? And
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
Fair.
I was like, okay, look, I paid for it. I gotta trust this lady. She knows what she's doing. She says this is gonna work. I'm gonna make it work. Whatever. And I fluctuated. I struggled with getting those macros for whatever reason. I would weigh things, and it was a learning curve, like what
Sure.
works for me. And I was trying to prep, and I was trying to do everything, and I was trying to lift the weights. But no, in the beginning, I struggled. I struggled with the macros. The macros is just a science that I just didn't get. It didn't make sense to me. It does now because I've listened to episode 35 of the Macro Hour about 37 times. I listen to it every week because number one, I think it's hilarious the way that you and I think it's Paula,
Oh, Paula. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you guys, the way you guys go back and forth. I crack up when Paula says, "Yeah." I say to myself, "Do if I drink this whole bottle of wine, is that going to serve the person that I want to be?" I always start laughing on that one. Then you're like, "Yeah, you got to throw the wine in the back of the counter, throw the fucking keys out in the and it's anyway." So
Oh,
for a while there, for probably 4 months, I had to listen to that one twice a week for like four
wow.
months because I always got something new, like something that I didn't hear the last time, or
Love
I
that.
understood more, so I could take in more, like
Heck yeah.
right.
I
So
love that. I love that you did that. That's like, I want everyone to hear that type of strategy that you implemented for yourself because you'll hear things and then you'll go back and you'll hear something different and it'll resonate with you differently. Or maybe those words sunk in and then the following week was like, oh shit, I didn't hear that part. Now that really resonates with me. Love that strategy. I applaud you for that big time.
well, and then Paula said, she's like, "Look, if you're doing the macros and you're not getting the results, then I know you're not doing the macros because it works." And it was
Yep.
like, fuck. Okay, who knows?
You really love the straight shooter talk. I love that, Melissa.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and the brutal honesty that like there's been several of your podcasts where you talk about if you're not being honest with your coach, then you're not doing yourself justice because your coach can't help you if she doesn't have all the information.
Yep. Totally.
So those kind of things, because again, I don't open up very easily. So with Kayla, it's getting better. She's amazing and she's smart and she's done such good. I mean,
She's a great coach.
yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
So
Very passionate about who she's working with. And she is also just really good at laying it out straight and telling you what you need to hear, even if you don't want to hear it.
yes,
Yeah.
she is. She's very
Yeah.
good at that.
So
But
how
she's
does it feel eating 1900 calories? Oh,
emotions too.
go ahead, say that one more time.
I said she's also good, like when you're having emotional, like
She can
she
hold that
understands.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell me what it's like eating 1900 calories now. Are you still at that point eating 1900 calories? Are you more? Are you less right now?
I think she has me just under 2,000, and I'm not gonna lie because whatever something clicked like 2 weeks ago to where now it's just like okay, now I'm like a machine. Like I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm adding my cardio, I'm doing my hot stretch at least 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm hungry all the time. Like and so I'm drinking water to make sure are you just thirsty or are you really hungry? And I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, and no, I'm hungry but I'm afraid to tell her I'm hungry because she's gonna make me eat
Oh,
more.
I'm gonna go message her right now. Like Melissa needs some more food. Send it her way. Oh
Yeah.
wow. I love that. My favorite stories are where you have those cues again. Not only are the favorite stories of me hearing warrior babes eating more food and they're feeling better, they're getting the results that they want. Um, but they also have those cues come back of their metabolism being like, hey, like that's it. A lot of people go not knowing what that feels like, you know?
Oh
So
yeah.
that's and eating 1900 calories at 58 years young is not many 58-year-olds can say that they're eating 1900 calories. So,
What? Why? Because they're eating less.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
maybe 1,000, 1,200 calories a day is the very much the broad spectrum average of the calories that women eat on a daily basis.
That's so gross. Now I
I
know, I mean, now I know what it does to you. So I just go, oh,
I know. It's crazy. So, can I ask you this? Like, what felt different about Warrior Babe compared to some of the other things that you've tried before?
education. I'm getting educated. It's not just I'm going to do this for a week and I'm going to lose these 20 pounds and then it's going to be done. I'm just going to live my life and I'm going to stay 20 pounds skinnier. That's not what Warrior Babe is about. She Kayla's coaching me on my lifestyle, on what I'm going to, so I can grow older longer. I don't need to worry about falling and breaking my hip. I don't need to worry about, taking arthritis medicine because my arms and hands don't hurt anymore. Um, if I feel crappy, I know how to go fix it. I just go to the gym
Yeah.
and I feel better.
Yeah.
My kids aren't going to have to worry about taking care of me because right now I'm healthier than them.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
um, so yeah, it's what's different is, and regardless of whether I'm the customer that I'm paying for this, Kayla coaches me like, she tells me, no, 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 don't do that. That's, she doesn't go, oh, I don't want to hurt Melissa's feelings or she won't re up. No, she gives it to me the way I need it so that I can be successful. Um,
Can you give me like one or two highlight points of maybe an experience you had with Coach Kayla where you were feeling that like I don't want to hear the fluff and she just kind of gave it to you very straight? Or, something that was very like eye-opening in terms of support that you really enjoyed?
so I think we were like 3 weeks in, or maybe it was, no, maybe I think it was our second one on one. And she was coaching me, but I could tell she was trying to be, um, I don't want to say politically correct because that's not the right thing, but she was trying to be gentle. And I go,
Mm-hmm.
Kayla, you don't have to be gentle with me. I'm like, I don't need that. Just tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Just say, Melissa, don't do that anymore. Or Melissa, if you keep doing this, this is what's going to happen. Or what? And then I'll just go, okay, and I'll adjust. And so now she does that, and she actually cracks up because she's like, yeah, I tell you. And she's like, you implement it straight away, or you ask me questions like, okay, well, if I do that, or whatever, or why was doing this not good? Like she'll explain it to me, and then I move on and I adjust and I keep moving on. And that's the compliment she gave me in my last session. She's like, you're always asking questions, and she goes, when I give you correction, she goes, you apply it and you just keep pushing on. And I was like, okay, I'll take that.
I love that. Do you know what I call that when I'm working with like the team or with the coaches? Is I call it the feedback application rate. And it applies the same way with working with like clients or babes. It's
Mm-hmm.
called feedback application rate. So like if it's the exact scenario, like you're asking Kayla for feedback or you're having her tell you the things that you need to hear straight out or a recommendation to change this and do this differently.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ability to take that information and actually go apply it, it's the hardest part for people because they'll meet resistance or they'll come up against their own excuses or like they're
Mm-hmm.
getting in their own way. But the ones that can apply it and turn it around within whatever that period of time is, whether it be 12 hours or be 24 hours or be 48 hours,
Mm-hmm.
that is going to take you so far. And that's for the feedback application rate, FAR. And so I always say if you can apply it so fast like that, you're going to be able to get to where you want to be even quicker. So I love that you're that type of human, that type of brain that just applies it quickly because that's how you got to where you are now within the program too.
Well, and I feel, because I do look at the website and I do see the women that are getting good success and these women that have these ridiculous bodies, and it's like, oh gosh, it looks so good. So I get mad at myself because I feel like I should get there faster.
Mm.
And I tell that to Kayla because, like, I look at that 76-year-old woman, for instance. Holy cow. Like, I don't know her name, but I see her and I'm like, ugh. There's a ton of women that look amazing, and you see that from where they came from to where they are. And I get mad at myself because, I don't feel like I'm seeing that much. I'm not seeing as much difference as I want to see. But then I had Kayla got on me, and she's like, no, Melissa, think about, all the health challenge. Like, for 3 or 4 months, I couldn't even get the benefits of the exercise because I was trying to work through arthritis in my hands and my forearms, and it just hurt to even hold the weights. Like it
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I can't do that. Like this is, but one workout at a time, it got better, it got better, it got better. And I can remember the first time I felt sore in my pecs after I did a chest workout. For the first time, I was like, praise God, because I couldn't get there. So again, if it took all of that to get me here, then I'm fine with it. But I didn't see that at the time. I didn't see that going from here to there, I had to overcome all this stuff
Yeah. I love
that I
that you
didn't
see
know
that.
was there, right?
Yeah. I love that you see that now because, and I love that you recognize too that like, sure, that person, most recent or not the most recent podcast, but I did a one on comparison. And no, have you listened to that one yet? Okay, good. Because that's the thief of stealing your joy of your own journey and of your own timeline that you're on, and knowing that like everyone else has, their own lifestyle, they have their own trials and tribulations, they have their own things that they're going through, and as do you, as you just
Yeah.
mentioned, like the first 4 months, and just recognizing that like you'll get there. It's just on your own timeline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you see that now. That's important.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the accomplishments that
Okay.
you had. You mentioned the arthritis. What are some of your biggest wins that you've had physically, mentally, emotionally?
I'm hitting my macros like every day. The gold star is coming up on my WarriorBabe app, which is awesome. Um, so outside of hitting my max, I'm also feeling it. Like I feel different. My clothes feel looser. It's funny, my weight, I thought it would go down. It's not. It's staying right at 150, 151. My measurements, I'm horrible at measuring. I don't know what my problem is there. I have to work on that. But I have my little notebook that I have with my, goals, my notes from my
Oh,
from
I love that.
podcasts. And I visually keep things in my line of sight to keep my goals on track so that I want to be at 20% body fat by my birthday, which is December 12th. So I have a picture there with the date and a star around it so I know what that looks like. So if I get tempted to like go have whatever, get off my max or don't go work out, I look at that and I'm like, no, I got to go work out. No, I got to drink some more water. I'm going to put some lemon in my water. I'm going to, um, my biggest, I'm getting personal best every single time I go to the gym. I'm actually quite surprised at how strong I am, especially back workouts. Like I'm already up into like the 110 pounds, which I was like, wow, I couldn't barely do 50 when I started. And that was
Wow.
September. So,
Wow.
and I'm doing like 8 to 10 reps, not just 4 or 5 reps, like with
Let's
110 pounds.
go.
So
That's huge, Melissa. You should be so proud of that.
I am. I mean, I am. But I didn't think about that till I went back and looked at my numbers, and I was like, oh my God, you kind of came up a lot. Because I remember the 50 pounds was hard. Like
Yeah.
it was not easy.
Yeah.
Um, so I am proud that I look better, that I feel better. But the biggest thing I think is that I've stuck with it every single day, every single day. There hasn't been a day that I haven't done something toward my goal or my program, the Warrior Babe program.
Let's go. Let's go. I love that for you. Kicking ass. Staying consistent. That's the best way you're going to show when you show up for yourself on a daily basis. Don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent.
Yeah.
How has your relationship with your body and with food, how has that, changed?
Oh my gosh, tremendously. Now I look at myself in the mirror. Like before I wouldn't, like when I was getting in the shower, I wouldn't look. Now I look. Now I'm looking at my pictures. I have my comparison pictures here so I can kind of see
Yes.
myself. Um, so no, now I'm treating it more like I would treat a project at work. Like
Oh,
I'm
I love that.
you know, I'm I'm charting the milestones, if you will, so I can see
Yeah.
my own. I pay a lot of attention to my stats from my smart scale. I researched how the scale measures each one of these things, so I can know which ones to take seriously and which ones to say, okay, this might not be my real body fat percentage, but at least I know it's going down, just based on how it's measured. Yeah, just educating myself. That's been my biggest thing. I think it's shocking how off the tracks we get on what's really good for us and what's really not good for us.
Yeah. Well, that's not your guys' fault either, though. It's like the marketing and the things that are out there. They're telling you to do X, Y, and Z, eat less, train more, move often. Those things are, they don't, they serve a purpose for a bit, but they don't serve a purpose for a long-term, sustainable, being realistic to the reality of which you live on a daily basis. So,
Yeah.
um, and I love that now when we were talking earlier, how you mentioned that you avoided mirrors or you avoided photos. It's like now you have a journal, you're taking your progress pictures and you're putting them in there. That's a huge difference. That's really cool. When you look back, what's something that you can do now that you never imagined you would be able to do, or that you never imagined you'd feel good doing again, not never be able to do?
So I hate calling my boyfriend because I'm 58, but the gentleman that I've been dating for 15 years, he buys me clothes all the time, like really cute workout clothes, and he always buys me shirts that don't have backs on them that kind of open up, so you just
Yeah.
can wear, but you're and I wouldn't wear them. I've had them in my closet for 5 years. I wouldn't touch them, and now I'm wearing them. Like he loves it.
Wow.
He's like, "Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Why haven't you worn that before?" I said, "Because you lied to me and said I was sexy, and I wasn't sexy. I was fat." So now I'm
Now
feeling
you look good.
sexier. So
Oh, I love that.
that's been the one thing because he like Nikki, if I showed you my closet, like my closet has got like expensive, tons of leggings, tons of cute workout tops that you wear when you like want to show your body off, and I would not wear them. And now I'm wearing them, and he's like, okay, he loves it. He's like, yeah, and I mean, we don't live together or anything. We're truly dating, but yeah, he likes it.
Oh, I love that. Let's go. Now you can walk in that closet. You can look at those cute, sexy outfits and be like, all right, which one am I going to wear today?
Exactly.
What about if what if you never made the change? Like, where do you think you'd be today?
I'd be in more pain. My body composition would just be getting more off and more off because the worst thing is I was still the same size. I was still the same weight. It was just like my body was changing in ways that my clothes didn't fit right, not the way they fit when I was wearing them before.
Yeah.
It's just like everything moved. It's like that picture of when you're watching, the old Popeye commercials when they would take the thing and push the gut up into the chest and then he'd be all muscular. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I felt. That's kind of how I feel like my body's transforming because I'm not getting lighter, but things are moving like it's getting denser in my waist area. My arms, like I had my son. I hadn't seen my youngest son for like 3 weeks, and I went to meet him at a Jersey Mike's to pick him up. And when I walked in, he goes, "Oh my gosh, Mom, your legs are so muscular and your waist is so small." Like he was like, and
How'd that feel to hear that type of comment?
it was awesome because he just lost like 40 pounds. So he's really into the macros and doing his thing, and now he's
Yeah.
weightlifting. So no, it was. I was like, "Really? You're not just saying that?" He's like, "No, your legs look so muscular." I was like, "Okay."
Oh my gosh, I love that so much for you. How about I love the comment that you made about not feeling like that much pain anymore with arthritis. Isn't it pretty cool to like you're not taking do you take medication for it or no?
And I wouldn't take medication for it. That's why it was so
Yeah.
frustrating. I didn't want to take anything. And and if I like sometimes I'll push like an upper body a push or a pull workout. I'll push it one day because of a meeting or something, or I just can't get to it that day, or I'm flying that day to go out of town for business.
Yeah.
If I push it too many days and I don't do my regular upper body workouts on the days that they're scheduled to do, my arms will start getting sore again. Like so, it is something that like it is you have to stay with it. Your body needs to.
Totally. That's so cool. I love those types. The wins that I love is that because I watched my grandmother go through arthritis, and it's painful. And she was someone that didn't do exercise, didn't really move, and she was a nurse, which is crazy to me. But neither
I
here nor
don't
there.
think I don't think you relate the two because I would have never thought that doing push-ups would make my forearms and hands stop hurting.
Right? Yeah, true. It kind of is a catch-22. It doesn't.
It
It's
hurts when you're
counterintuitive.
doing it, so you think, oh, I can't do that. It hurts. No,
Yeah.
I have to do it. I have to get
Yeah.
through this so this gets stronger.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So as we wrap up this conversation, which thank you so much for sharing this and everything that you have, it's I know a lot of women are listening to this and be like, yeah, I've definitely felt or in Melissa's shoes now, and they've been inspired by the words that you shared with us. For that person that may be watching this right now and feels like stuck or feels frustrated with their body and doesn't know where to turn, what would you want them to know about Warrior Babe?
That whether you do it, the one thing I say is when I started in September and I'm working every single day, my body might not be where I want it to be right at this moment, but I'm one day closer than I was yesterday. And if I stop doing it, progress will stop. And now my body and my mind are almost to the point where it's not even optional for me to miss a workout because I physically need it and I mentally need it just to keep sane and to keep, and because I want to feel healthy. Like I just don't want to feel yucky anymore. I don't want to feel
Yeah.
sluggish. So
Wow. I love that. I love that you're still on this journey with us. You still got more time to go. And I just thank you for showing up here today and, you know, showing other women that it's possible to change, not by doing more, but by just doing things differently.
that's
And
yeah, yeah. And honestly, the everybody, or not everybody, I shouldn't generalize. I used to think that meal prepping was so hard. Like meal prepping actually makes life easier because you kind of already know what you're going to do. You just need to do it. Like you just need to buy your proteins, buy your veggies, buy your starches, and just fix them, put them in the fridge.
facts.
So it's actually
Say
made
that,
my life a lot easier. No more decisions.
say that louder for the people in the back.
It's made my life easier. No more decisions.
Yes, let's go. You know exactly what to eat on a daily basis. How about that?
Yeah.
Wild. You don't have to spend or exhaust your thoughts on what am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for dinner? It's like, it's already made.
Yep. Just
Cool.
gotta hard boil my eggs for the week and done.
Done. Wow. Well, your story is going to resonate on so many levels. I thank you for being here and sharing it with me. And, if anybody feels like they're in Melissa's shoes right now or they're experiencing some frustration or where Melissa was before she found us, then check out WarriorBabe. Go see how we can help. If you like me cursing, you're going to hear a lot of it. So you'll find your people inside of WarriorBabe for sure.
It is not for the faint, that's for sure. You're gonna have to
Amen to
work, you
that.
have to work hard.
Yeah, not every like even like what Shannon said to you, we don't accept everybody in here. Some people can't make it, and that's okay. You're just not at the point of the journey where you're accepting that it could be a feat for you to learn and to understand, but you really got to want the change.
Yeah.
Really got to want
Yeah.
the change.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Cool, Melissa. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Nikki. It was so great to talk to you.
Likewise.